Hey there, my creepy classmates and ghastly graduates. It's me, your favorite undead hostess, Sally the Zombie Cheerleader, welcoming you to A Ghoul's Guide to Horror, where we dissect horror movies literally and figuratively. Because let's be real, I need the spare parts.
Watch him as he turns into a beast, too grotesque to believe, and terrorizes his teachers to death. See Vernon Potts turn on to become the demon of Horror High.
I make that out to be a laboratory beaker, Lieutenant.
We found it close to the coach's body.
The world's most evil teenage mind creates terror for the school that becomes known as Horror High.
From the crypt so cold where the shadows creep, Sally rises up from her undead sleep. Bones clatter click, hear the ghosties weep. The organ moans, the boogeyman screams, a spectral dance in your wildest dreams. It's spooky, it's kooky, it's a little bit ooky. The Ghoul's Guide to Horror, get ready for the spooky. Giggles and groans, a baseline that slays. Sally's cheer squad is raising the grave. Snap to the beat as the coffins crack. The dead don't sleep, they're coming back. Fangs and pom-poms under moonlight's glow. Get your ghoul groove on, it's a monster show.
Tonight, we're heading back to school again, but this time, instead of a killer jester, we've got mad science gone wrong.
You killed her. You killed her, boy. Ah! You going right too?
That's right, fleshies. We're talking about the 1973 movie Horror High, a movie that asks, what if Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde happen to be in a high school science lab? Spoiler alert, nothing good! This flick has mutation, revenge, and some of the worst high school faculty members I have ever seen.
Here it is. I found it. Here it is, Miss Grindstaff. I must have given you my biology report by mistake. And yeah. But Miss Grindstaff, it was only a mistake.
I'm sorry, Vernon, but you must learn that your other subjects are just as important as biology and chemistry.
I mean, I've met actual zombies with better social skills than some of these teachers.
Well, you know how some drugs can change a person mentally? Well, I've been trying to prove that you can change a person physically as well. You see, I'm experimenting with this guinea pig. His name is Mr. Mumps.
Forget it, Potts. That's the silliest damn thing I've ever heard. Now get out of here and get dressed. Can you believe that?
So, is this movie a class valedictorian of horror, or should we expel it from our watch lists? Let's find out. Alright, fleshies, let's crack open this textbook of terror and break down the plot, because I don't know about you, but my high school experience was already terrifying enough, without adding chemical-fueled rampages into the mix.
And they're holding Roger Davis for his murder.
Well, it couldn't have happened to a nicer guy.
Up first, we've got Vernon Potts, the ultimate science nerd, who spends all of his free time in the school lab experimenting on guinea pigs instead of, you know, making friends. Not judging, I once spent weeks experimenting on cafeteria mystery meat to see if it was, well, meat. The jury's still out on that one. But when Vernon's forced to drink his untested experimental formula, he goes full Hyde mode, transforming into a deranged monster with a thirst for revenge on anyone who's wronged him. And it's a real long list. This guy gets bullied by students, teachers, janitors, and possibly the cafeteria lunch lady. Before long, Vernon starts picking off his tormentors one by one, leaving behind some gruesome crime scenes that make the school janitor's job a literal nightmare. And of course, the cops are clueless, because who would suspect the quiet science nerd? Classic horror logic.
But what do you make of this?
Well, I make that out to be a laboratory beaker. Well, I've really got to be going, Lieutenant.
We found it close to the coach's body.
This movie is basically Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde meets Carrie, but with fewer psychic powers and more questionable lab safety protocols. Fun tidbit. This movie was shot on a micro budget, meaning a lot of school scenes were filmed in an actual high school after hours. Imagine being a student there and coming in the next morning to see a murder scene set up in your chemistry lab. Talk about the Monday morning blues. Now let's talk about the bizarre and budget-friendly effects in Horror High, because trust me, fleshies, they got creative. And by creative, I mean gloriously ridiculous. First up, Vernon's transformation scenes. Now instead of fancy werewolf level FX, we get good old-fashioned lighting tricks and close-ups on his wild, bug-eyed expressions. Well, I mean, it's effective, but it also looks like he just chugged 10 energy drinks in a row. Now, if I could only bottle that kind of zombie energy for my morning grave rise, oh, that would be great. Oh, and then there's the kill sequences, which are actually brutal for a 70s horror high school flick. We've got acid dunkings, face scratchings, and even a crushed rib cage. And the best part? The blood effects are mostly corn syrup and red food coloring, because who needs Hollywood budget when you have a grocery store? Now, one of the rarely talked about effects was how they made Vernon's monstrous alter ego look even more unhinged. Instead of full-on prosthetics, they used distorted mirror reflections and quick cuts to make his face seem inhuman. Low budget? Absolutely. Effective? You bet your reanimated backside it is. Oh, and fun fact, this movie was actually re-released in the early 1980s as Twisted Brain to cash in on its slasher craze. Gotta love a second chance at horror immortality. The re-release came with new promotional materials that made it seem much gorier than it actually was, proving that horror marketing teams have been tricking audiences for decades. All right, time for a verdict. Horror High is a weird, wild ride that's part creature feature, part revenge thriller, and all 70s schlocky fun. And if you love low-budget horror with big ideas, this one is worth a watch. Horror High scores a 6.5 out of 10 brains. It's got charm, camp, and questionable science experiments. And really, what more could you ask for? Oh no! And that's a wrap, my wicked whiz kids. Horror High is what happens when science experiments get way out of hand. Kind of like the time I tried to reanimate a fleshy flavored pizza. Lesson learned. It didn't end well. If Horror High taught us anything, it's this. Maybe don't experiment on yourself. Always read the fine print on your lab chemicals. And if your high school suddenly gets a spike in mysterious deaths, maybe transfer, or at the very least, get some zombie backup. I'm always available for monster mayhem and consultation. So fleshies, if you haven't seen Horror High, grab your textbooks, a lab coat, and some questionable science ethics, and give it a watch. Just maybe don't take any notes from Vernon. Did this movie make you fear high school even more, or just make you wish your science projects had more murder? Let me know in the comments below. And if you love horror reviews that mix horror and humor, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that spooky little bell so you never miss another scream-worthy review. This has been A Ghoul's Guide to Horror, and remember, if your school science teacher starts acting suspicious and the guinea pig is hulking out, run! All right, my little classmates, stay spooky, stay scary, and never trust unmarked beakers. See you next time, my little horror fiends. Stay fresh, fleshies.